First of all, I just wanted to extend my thanks to everybody for joining us on this auspicious day of 20 years of Padada Padadi. If I can just do a couple of housekeeping rules, obviously we're all muted at the moment, but if you have any questions or you want to interact with anybody, then please put it into the chat, and Prashant, my co-host, will be able to let us know, and we'll go ahead for that. We are recording this. I hope that is okay with everybody. Yeah, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to say welcome. Thank you very much for joining us on a Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, and a Saturday evening. So with the time differences across the globe, it shows the expanse of the support and love that we have from everybody. So it's very much appreciated that you could join us on today to celebrate the 20th year of Padada Padadi. So I'm going to pass you on now to Renuka, as you all know and love her, just to have a few points. And we're going to be showing a few videos and having a few question and answer sessions. There's going to be a few polls throughout the thing at certain intervals. If I can ask anybody in the intervals, what we're going to do is be opening it up to the floor for you to recount stories of meeting Sam or Renuka or your first time at Anupshaha. So if you've got any funny stories in particular of Sam or Renuka, I would love for you to share them. So please don't be shy and share those stories and embarrass the boss and the founder as much as possible. So I'm going to say thank you very much, and then I'm going to pass you over to Renuka.
Thank you, Jason, for making it much more difficult for me. As it is, I'm feeling nervous as if it is an examination day. Let me tell you, I was not a very great student. So I'm feeling nervous as if I'm sitting for an exam first time. So thank you, Jason. Good evening, namaskar, good morning, good afternoon to everybody. I'm really honestly feeling very overwhelmed. Let me tell you a secret. Even before this meeting, I called up Sam, like as if you call up your dad to say, oh, I'm nervous. That is my state at the moment. I don't know how 20 years flew. I don't even know. Like whether I should be excited or whether we should say, yes, this is just a passing and there'll be many, many more 20 years. So this journey, as you know, is a journey of one man's dream, Sam. We all love him. But today I'm proud to say that this is dream of so many more people. All the girls of Padada Padadi, all the women, brave women of Anupshaha who faced all kinds of difficulties to be here today. And this is also a journey of learning. We have learned a lot in this journey. I remember the day when me and Sam used to sit under a tree and say, we wish we had one computer to show to our girls. We wish we could bring them in a bus. They wouldn't be traveling on their foot for 12 kilometers one way. We wish one girl at least could join a job in a multinational. So there was a long list of wishes. It doesn't mean that we don't still have wishes. We do have wishes. So when we started with a very small dream saying that let the girls be able to read and write, and they should have a skill whereby they can earn their living. But 6 years down the line, girls came to us to say, why can't I be a prime minister? Why can't I be a pilot? Why can't I be a soldier? Why can't I be a policewoman? So these whys pushed us to change the whole paradigm from being a school and a vocational skills school to becoming a school and iVillage. When I say we became a school, which meant that we divided our school time into academics and personality development, where in personality development, the girls learned a lot. They learned what does it mean to say, I want to choose my own life partner. They learned to say that I will decide when I need to marry. These are, mind you, the very, very strong statements to make in a place like Anupshaha. And iVillage, iVillage became a separate entity by itself, which started giving jobs to women from the households of Anup Sheher. The third transition happened when we started our community development division. And we organized women into self-help groups. Though I still remember when the first time I went to a village to mobilize these 10 women, there were 400 men standing around me. And they were all hooting, abusing, and using all kind of languages to ensure that the 10 women of that village do not come together. But today, the story of joy is that we have 5,000 plus women, and all the men say, go, we'll take care of the cow. This is your meeting time. Similarly, I remember in iVillage, first time when we asked the women to come to iVillage, they said, oh my God, I can't come and work here for 8 hours. Who will give warm food to my husband? And today, the same women sit for longer hours whenever needed, and the husbands bring their lunch boxes, which is the most amazing sight for me. Similarly, like in the health, we transitioned from making toilets in the homes of the girls to giving them sanitary napkins to solar lights and everything else. And today, we have community health workers who go from village to village, working with village women, working and creating an awareness. And the good news, and I'm very proud to say that, is that none of us members of 6,000 families, touchwood, suffered from COVID because of that. And the most amazing part of this 20 years, I will say, has been, unfortunately, the COVID. Because we learned a lot. We blossomed as a team. I'm very proud of the team that we have, because they went out, all out, to serve the community in difficulty. We came up with very innovative solutions. They didn't see whether it was day or night. And thank you everybody for being part of this journey. This journey wouldn't have been possible without you being there. So now I would like to invite our vertical heads to be introduced to everybody who work very diligently to ensure that whatever is happening at the field level is done to its effectiveness. So hereby first, I would like to introduce KK Sharma. He is principal of the school.
Hi everyone.
Can everybody see KK?
Hello.
Hi. KK, the principal of the school.
Then over to my very, very smart colleague, head of iVillage Vertical, and I'm very proud to say that of all the heads, she's another woman colleague, Arya.
Hi everybody.
Now I would like to introduce you to my another colleague, Kamruddin, who has been working in the self-help groups program and doing some most amazing work. Padadi is what it is today because of one very important person, Mr. Jose, who's the oldest serving member of Padada Padadi team. He's the administrative head of Anup Sheher, wears many hats, and also administrative head of the health vertical. Over to you, Jose.
Hi everyone. Nice to see all of you together.
Thank you, Jose. Thank you. One more very important person is Ravinder. He keeps us all straight. He keeps us, he helps us maintain our figures, literally. So over to you, Ravinder.
Hello everyone.
And of course, by now you know Jason. Everybody knows Jason. Jason is head of fundraising and communications team.
Hello, everyone. You'll be sick of my sound of my voice by the end of this, so I'll keep it short and sweet.
Thank you, Jason. So without boring you all further, I just want you to take you through the what we do currently, where we are, and over to you, Jason, to start the video, please.
Radio, and yeah.
Here I would like to say this is not journey, as I said earlier, of one person, one individual. This is not a dream of one person, one individual. It is now today everybody's dream. And I would like to recite a poem of my very favorite poet, which suits today's occasion, because we can't stop dreaming. We can't say that, yes, we have done enough. So this is a poem by Rabindranath Tagore, where the mind is without fear and the head is held high, where knowledge is free, where the world has not been broken into free fragments by narrow domestic walls, where words come out from the depth of the truth, and so on and so forth. So my request to everybody here and whoever is not been able to participate is march the journey with Pardada Pardadi and let everybody's dream come true, and let this world be such where everybody is equal. There is no patriarchy, there is no subjugation, there's no hunger. And we all can dream and create a world together, which is a gender just world. So thank you, Jason, for giving me this chance, and over to you.
Thank you very much for that, Renuka. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to introduce you to Mr. Salil Shetty, who is a Harvard University fellow. He's also a former member, former Secretary General of Amnesty International. So we're very privileged and proud to call Mr. Salil Shetty a friend of Pardada Pardadi, and he's just going to give a few insights of the work that we do and the importance of it. So Mr. Shetty, I'll pass it on to you, and thank you very much for joining us this evening.
Thank you. Thank you, Jason, and thank you to Pardada Pardadi in all its glory, every single participant for giving me this opportunity. You know, as Renuka was speaking about dreams and aspirations, my mind went to Halonen, who was the Finnish president for many years, I think for almost 12 years. And I'm sure I'm pronouncing her name wrong, but one story which Halonen always used to say in many of her meetings, you know, she used to tell us about this time when she went to a small village outside Helsinki to meet some children in a school. And she was asking the kids there, you know, what would you like to become when you're older? So she was having this conversation with a small group of children, and one of the young boys, who was like, I think 10 years old or so, he was saying that he wants to become a doctor. And so she said to him, you know, is it that, you know, in your dreams and aspirations, you didn't say you want to become the president of Finland? So, so the boy said that, I thought that the president of Finland can only be a woman, because for the entire 10 years of his life, the president of Finland has always been a woman. And of course, now Finland is gone much further. You know, it's got one of the most diverse cabinets and diverse set of representatives and leaders in the world. So coming back, you know, from Finland and Helsinki to Anupshahar, I think I was thinking that I was there in February of this year, and it feels like, you know, BC and AD, right? I mean, BC not being before Christ, but before COVID. And life has completely changed post-COVID, so we're not able to travel much. But the time that I was there, the day I was in Pardada Pardadi, I think we were able to go to see the school, the vocational training, the income generation work. And the thing that struck me the most when I came out of there was that every woman, every girl, every boy we met were genuinely filled with energy and hope and aspiration. So I think the exciting thing about Pardada Pardadi is making real change to real people. And that's what it's all about in the end. And I think thinking about, you know, why I think this is why they managed to do this. I think number one is the persistence and the staying power and focus. So that 20 years, you know, you can't do these things in a shorter period of time. It just takes a long time. The change doesn't happen easily. I think the second factor which struck me was a focus on the marginalized, on the poor, and particularly on girls and women. And I must say that, you know, this is even more commendable because it's in Uttar Pradesh, which is one of the most challenging states, not just in the country, but in the entire world, I would say. And so, all power to the single-minded dedication of the team of Pardada Pardadi, and of course, Renuka, who's been there from the beginning, and Sam, who's kind of, the force behind a lot of this that's happened. So I just wanted to mention that, the last 5 years or so, as far as I'm concerned, has seen this country, our country facing very, very big challenges. The economy is really down on its knees. And we have a huge amount of mismanagement of the COVID situation. Yesterday, we crossed 9 million cases. And I would say, it struck me that since our great leader in India is often using mnemonics, I thought I should use some mnemonics for this conversation before closing, Jason. It won't be very long, don't worry. So I thought of 5 C's, and the 5 C's that seem to be afflicting our country. And to me, they are the underlying causes of poverty in the country. So we have 5 C's, which together add up to the P, the poverty and the exclusion that we're trying to fight. So the first C, which is the virus that we are immediately fighting, of course, is COVID. But we have some long-term viruses we are fighting. So the second C is corruption, which works out to be a C in Hindi as well. It's just plain chori. And the third C, which I wanted to list, is chauvinism, which is, I'm highlighting male chauvinism because it's a convenient C, but it's patriarchy if you want to use a non-C word. And then we have casteism. And you probably, those of you who follow India would know that, this is probably one of the greatest challenges we face. And then in the last few years, we've seen a heightened communalism. It's targeted on particular religions, but also, and of course, you could say that none of these things are new. These are all old viruses we've had: corruption, chauvinism, casteism, communalism. But I think the big challenge for organizations like Pardada Pardadi is that how much do you focus on the causes of poverty and how much do you focus on the symptoms? The challenge right now in India, as we see, is that if you focus more on the causes, you will be then changing the power balance, even between, say, men and women, for example. This is not an easy rebalancing to do. And then there's a lot of attack which comes on through FCRA and on civil society in general. But I wanted to say that, amidst this very challenging environment, if you go to Pardada Pardadi, you go to Anup Sher, you kind of see this beacon of hope and light, which is Sam, is Renuka, is the entire team. And I think Beena has been supporting, iPartner has been supporting Pardada Pardadi for a long time. It was my first visit and I came out, super energized that change is possible, that, day to day we have many challenges, but that persistence, that, staying power will make a huge difference. So thank you for everything that you're all doing and keep it up. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for those kind words, Mr. Shetty. It's absolutely wonderful to hear how, from an outsider's point of view and a man of your experience, to hear how you feel that we're doing. So very much appreciated for your inputs and thoughts. Thank you very much. Rightio. So we're just going to go on to a short video in which is a performance by some of our schoolgirls, and they've visualized the speech given by Malala Yousafzai, which was to the UN on the 12th of June in 2013. So it's just a visualization of that famous speech. So we'll get that playing.
One teacher, one book, and one pen can change the world. Education is one of the blessings of life and one of its necessities. But things did not remain the same. Women were flogged. People were killed. And our beautiful dreams turned into nightmares. Education went from being a right to being a crime. When my world suddenly changed, my priorities changed too. I had two options. One, remain silent and wait to be killed. And the second was to speak up and then be killed. I chose the second one. The terrorists tried to stop us, but neither their ideas nor their bullets could win. We survived. And since that day, our voices have grown louder and louder. Why is it that countries which we call strong are so powerful in creating wars, but are so weak in bringing peace? Why is it that giving guns is so easy, but giving books is so hard? Why is it that making tanks is so easy, but building schools is so hard? We are living in the modern age, and we believe that nothing is impossible. And today, I'm very happy that we are together fighting for an important cause. This award is not just for me. It is for those forgotten children who want education. It is for those frightened children who want peace. It is for those voiceless children who want change. I'm here to stand up for their rights, to raise their voice. It is not time to pity them. It is time to take action. So it becomes the last time that we see a child deprived of education. Not just the politicians and the world leaders. We all need to contribute. Me, you, we. It is our duty. Let us become the first generation that decides to be the last, that sees empty classrooms, lost childhoods, and wasted potentials. Let this be the last time that a girl or a boy spends their childhood in a factory. Let this be the last time that a girl is forced into early child marriage. Let this be the last time that a child loses life in war. Let this be the last time that we see a child out of school. Let this end with us. Let's begin this ending together, today, right here, right now.
Right, so that was a visualization by led by one of the performance teachers at the school. So, you know, just to visualize the speech by Malalia Yousaf. So we're going to move on to one of the main speakers of the evening. We all know him, we all love him, we all have stories about him. So I'm going to pass you on to Mr. Sam Virender Singh.
Thank you, Jason. Thank you so much. First of all, the story which Salil just said about Finland, for last 20 years, our head has been Renuka. And I think we have no plan to change her next 20 years also. So God give her long life. We will run by a lady. Her name is Renuka. So whatever you see today, whatever you hear, it is Renuka. Now, it says vision here. I think it's not vision. When I talked with Jason, he told me, don't talk about vision because you don't have any vision. Just tell us how you got started. So it's about how we got started. As you all know, I work for a company named DuPont. And when I got to the Asian board level, I had good friends, and one of the good friends was Gene Kruzberger. And Gene kept talking with me why the hell you wasting your time here? India need you more. You should go back to India. But my problem was that I had a wife who thought I can't even go and get a glass of water by myself. So how the hell I will live in India and do whatever? So between Jean and my wife, my transition to India was delayed by at least 15 years. Anyway, finally, I did come, but Jean suggestion to me was, he couldn't pronounce, but he tried to say that there's a guy named Dalai Lama. He lives in India at a place called Dharamshala. You should go see that. And I did. So when I went and saw what Dalai Lama was doing, not only the education, but vocational education, but the whole idea was that all the people from his country, how they can become self-sufficient by themselves, money-wise, food-wise, every way in life, how they can become. And so that thought really attracted me. I came back to Delhi. I called Gene Kruzberger. I said, Gene, do you really know who the hell Dalai Lama is? He said, no, I just heard about him. So I told him who Dalai Lama is. Gene had a 15-second silence, and he said, Sam, our name is not Dalai Lama, but we know much more than him how to manage things. So don't worry about it. Your name is not Dalai Lama. So if you will start whatever you want to start, we in DuPont have learned the managing part. So I wanted to prove him wrong, that no, we are not good. And that is why on day one, we got Renuka. And with her help, we first started only to give food to girls. There was nothing else. There was no purpose, no nothing. They wanted food, we gave them food. They wanted clothes, we gave them clothes. Their mom was, her biggest worry was how they will get married. And so we started giving 10 rupees a day in their account. I mean, I'm telling you all these things because these were all stupid ideas of Renuka, and I couldn't believe why the hell she's doing that, giving food, giving clothes, giving bicycle, and then depositing 10 rupees a day and all that. Anyway, today we are 20 years later. We have 145 girls who are working all over the world. We have about 150 girls who are in different universities and all that. And so now the idea of giving them clothes and 10 rupees is gone. Those 10 rupees now are used for the first year of their university education. So I just want you, all of you, to know how we got started, where we are, and what the potential is. The potential is really transforming rural India. Rural India is, I will say, essentially is a whole India as far as the population is concerned and the area is concerned. And so we think the model which Dalai Lama started, the model which Gene Kruzberger helped me to do that, is being implemented under the leadership of Renuka. And I am saying we need all of you. Every one of you we need. And very frankly, we need your money. I need every damn penny you can give it to us. Like, for example, right this minute, me and Renuka are fighting that we have to add 200 more girls and we need 4 more classrooms. And she is saying, in COVID, we cannot get money. And so every day that struggle is there. So anyway, coming back to what we need right now is your ideas, is your help, and how you can transform any one of these girls. The vision is every rural girl should become financially independent. And right now we have only 1,800. We're going to add 200 more. I hope Renuka will allow us to add 200 more. So we will have 2,000. But 2,000 is not even a drop in rural India. So we need your ideas. We have a president of New Jersey University here. I told her, I need your university help. I need millions. I need billions, because we need another university for these girls to go and just get the 10th and 12th grade degree. Okay. So that is how we started. This is where we are going. And thank you so much for all of your help. Like Renuka said, all of you are celebrating 20th year, much more than Renuka and me, because it was your help. It was your counseling. It was your thought, which is being implemented. Thank you once again. And this time, Renuka or my daughters won't blame me. Dad, you kept talking and talking, so I will shut up here. Thank you so much and have a great day.
Thank you very much for that, Sam. And yes, embarrassing me earlier as well, but no, thank you very much. Some very lovely words, and very much along the ethos of today is celebrating everybody and the support that we get from everybody. So then I'm going to introduce KK, who is the principal of the school.
Hi. Right now we have 1,800 students from KG to 12th grade. And Mohini is one of our best students, and she is from a small village, Veerpur. Let's look in her and her family's life. Jason, please.
I am Mohini. I'm studying in 12th grade. I'm studying with science and I want to become an electrical engineer. Today, I will take you to my home tour. I am from a village, Veerpur, which is 9 kilometers away from the school. Family, we are 7 members. My mother is a housewife and father is a laborer. My sister comes to PPES with me, and other siblings also study. My family lives with very limited resources, and I want to make sure that one day I will give them a better life. I love being at the school as I have friends here and freedom too. Being part of Pardada Pardadi, I feel strong and empowered.
Okay, so that was Mohini. So thank you for that. Rightio, everyone. If anybody would like to ask any questions of Mohini and any comments, then please raise your hand, and Prashant will unmute you. And then, okay, we've got one from the boss man. And Nikita, are you there to be able to translate for everyone?
Okay, I want to find out from Mohini how many girls from her village coming to Pardada Pardadi.
Mohini, are you there? Okay, Mohini, sir wants to know, sir जानना चाहते हैं कि आपके विलेज से कितनी बच्चियां, कितनी लड़कियां आती हैं स्कूल में?
There are 125 students from my place.
Okay.
I have another question. I want to know what Mohini wants to be when she grows up.
So मोहिनी, क्या बनना चाहते हो बड़े होकर? क्या विजन है आपके लिए? आपका अपना क्या सपना है? क्या ड्रीम है? क्या आप बनना चाहते हैं?
I want to become an electrical engineer.
Okay.
Electrical engineer.
Yes.
Suparna, I see you waving.
मोहिनी, आप किसको एडमायर करते हो सबसे ज्यादा दुनिया में?
It's all for my mom, means parents, and my teachers.
So Suparna, what was that? Who are the people with you?
Who do you admire in the world?
Fantastic. No, that's a great answer, Mahini, and thank you. Tamara, I'm just going to come to you, and then, ladies and gentlemen, that'll be the final question. So if Tamara, you can ask your question.
Sure, thank you. Mahini, thank you for that. Would you be interested in coming to the United States to study one day?
Yes, one day I want to study in United States. It was my dream, but now I also want to do education in America.
Excellent. Thank you.
For that, I also gave a form for YES program, but in future, I also want to go in America to study.
Excellent. We welcome you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Fantastic. Thank you, Tamara.
Thank you, Tamara and Mohini. We have Mohini's mother also with us today. So anybody has just sorry, Jason, anybody if has last one question from the mother, please may ask.
Tasuka, have you got a question for Mohini's mother?
There is a question in chat by Tuzusko Smith that she's saying that is Mohini's family supportive to her school, or what are the difficulties she faces? And what are the difficulties to go to school, if there is any?
While you're coordinating that, we have another question. We want to know if Mohini's mom would be okay sending Mohini to the US for studies.
So मोहिनी की मम्मी से हम ये जानना चाहते हैं कि क्या आप इस हक में हैं कि स्कूल आती है, आपको इस चीज से खुशी है, आप उसको सपोर्ट करते हैं?
हाँ मैम।
आप हाँ या ना में जवाब दे सकते हैं। अच्छा, मेरा दूसरा सवाल आपसे है कि कोई भी आपको कोई भी डिफिकल्टी होती है, कोई मुश्किल होती है उसे स्कूल भेजने में, कोई घर पे रोकता है या कुछ कहता है, या कोई और किसी भी प्रकार की आपको दिक्कत होती है उसे स्कूल भेजने में?
नहीं मैम,
ऐसा? हाँ जी,
कोई रोक टोक नहीं है हमारे बच्चे के लिए।
अच्छा, कोई रोक टोक नहीं है. So there is no one who is stopping her from coming to school. अच्छा, तीसरा जो क्वेश्चन अभी पूछा गया है वो ये है कि आप इस चीज से आपको इस चीज में खुशी मिलेगी अगर मोहिनी कभी यूएस जाकर पढ़ाई करे, आप उसमें उसका साथ देंगे? ओके, सो आप इसके लिए रेडी है, मतलब आपको कोई आपकी तरफ से कोई रुकावट नहीं है इस चीज के लिए, राइट? नहीं, ठीक है, थैंक यू.
So Nikita, can you just translate the answers for us, if that's okay?
Okay, so basically she's saying that she doesn't have any problem sending her to school. They are very supportive in this regard that she comes to school. There is no difficulty that they are facing as of now in sending her school. Thirdly, they would be happy if she'll get a chance to go to US and study there. So they are okay with all the three things that are being asked in the chat box as well as verbally. So they are kind of okay with everything, and they are very supportive of her studying at PPES and going abroad and studying there. They're happy, in fact, with this thing.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you very much for that, Nikita.
Most welcome.
And thank you to Mohini and her mother for being with us today to answer the questions from everyone. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to move on to Ms. Beena Rani, who is the founder and CEO of iPartner India. She has been an avid supporter of Padada Padadi for a number of years. We'd ask her to share a few thoughts on the aligning of goals and what's driven her to support Padada Padadi. Beena, can you hear us okay?
Yes, I can. Thank you, Jason. Good to see you, Sam, Renuka. No, thanks, everyone. And it's great to be here. I think I would have liked to come in when there was a funny story part, because I have lots of funny stories from my 15 years of experience of supporting Padada Padadi. But let me stick to the more serious stuff first. I remember when I had set up iPartner India about 15 years ago, one of the very first organizations I came to visit was Pardada Pardadi. So like Renuka said, she's nervous after 20 years. I was equally nervous because it was one of the first organizations that I was coming to visit, and I had to figure out what they were doing that was so special and why it deserved the kind of support that it did. I had just about set up iPartner India. It was also, I mean, I'd set up iPartner India on a bit of a wing and a prayer, not sure where I would get the funding from. But I remember that first kind of bone rattling, jostling journey to Pardada Pardadi, and all the while thinking, I mean, hundreds of people have set up girls' schools in different parts of India, of rural India. Why is this so special? And why does it deserve the kind of support that Renuka and Sam were trying to convince me along the way? I think they have a very good strategy. So they come with you on the journey so that they can tell you, they can kind of condition your mind, and somehow it enters your DNA what it is that they're trying to do. So by the time you get to the school, you're already partly convinced. So anyway, I get to the school still not quite convinced that, why should this be a special school? And I get to the school and I meet Asha. And Asha tells me her story, and I'm sure Asha is still there. I meet Asha every year when I visit the school. And Asha tells me how difficult it was for her to even start coming to school, how her parents would say to her, she was from a family of, I think, 5 or 6 siblings, and they thought that they would earn some money if she was sent off to work in the fields or milk the buffaloes. Why should she then be sent to school? And what a transformation it was in her life. And every year when I come back to Pardada Pardadi, I see many, many more Ashas. There are Mohinis, there are Kulsums, there are hundreds of Ashas. And I think we have supported hundreds and I think coming up to thousands such girls over the last 15 years. And I'm proud to say that Pardada Pardadi is now in my DNA. But I can't end without a funny story, Jason. I have to tell the funny story to you too. Yeah. So one of those times when we were trying to get the CEO of New Look to come and visit the school, along with Tom Singh, who is the founder and the kind of owner of New Look. So we had these bigwigs traveling with us, and we were trying to convince them to set up the production center for 150 women, mothers of these girls. So we have lots of discussions along the way saying, okay, how do we actually plan this visit? So the first stop, as soon as we get to the school, is they have to come and plant trees. So we take them to the place where they're supposed to plant the tree. And Anders, the CEO of New Look. So Anders comes to plant his tree, and he sees his board there which says Mrs. Anders Christiansen. And so he's a Mr., of course. And when he sees this Mrs., everybody else falls apart laughing, thinking that we couldn't have got something like his gender wrong. But being the kind of person he was, he thought it was quite funny. And he almost fell into that hole that we had dug trying to plant that tree. He almost killed himself laughing because he thought it was funny that his gender was changed by Pardada Pardadi. So anyway, that's I'm proud to support Pardada Pardadi. I know we will continue for many more years, so 15 years. When we first started, there were 200. I don't even think there were 200 girls. I think there were 150 girls. And you're now 1,700 girls. And left to Sam, it will be 2,000 shortly. So I'm proud to be part of this journey. It is in my DNA, and I'll always continue to support Renuka and Sam through whatever they do. Thank you for the opportunity, and thanks, Jason. Over to you.
No, thank you very much, Bina. It's lovely to hear the stories of trips down to Anupshire with Sam and Renuka. We've all been there and we've all experienced it. So yeah, no, it's good to hear a different experience. So thank you very much for that, Bina. Much appreciated. What we're going to do now, folks, is we're just going to move on to hear from some of our friends from across the pond up in Canada. So we've got Mr. Ray Gupta, a trustee of the Positive and Progressive Educational Support, Inc., which is in Canada, and it's very, very much heavily part of the supporting network that we have. But also it just shows the expanse of and the reach of Padada Padadi, that gentlemen such as Mr. Gupta spend time aiding our cause. So if Mr. Gupta, I can ask you to raise your hand and let us know where you are so we can unmute you. Mr. Gupta, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Indeed, we can.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the introduction. First of all, I want to congratulate Sam and the whole team for their 20th anniversary. I was first introduced to me and my partner, actually, Mr. Amar Bhatia, was first introduced to Padada Padadi school in India by our good friend, Mr. Vinod Guerra, who is the chairman of our board, about 4 years ago. And this is how the journey started. And he took us through some videos and whatnot. It didn't take much conviction or much conversations, and we were just taken up by the whole program and the cause. So we started. That was our first year. That's how I got started into the PPES. It has been for me personally, it has been a very fulfilling experience, and it really gives me tremendous what do you call it, satisfaction that we are doing something good. So for the last 4 years, we have been doing fundraising. The very first year when we started, we started just with our own thoughts and ideas. In the first year we raised $140,000. Next year we changed it to $215,000. The third year we raised $275,000. So totaling over the last 3 years, we raised $630,000 from here. This year has been a little bit of a difficult year for everybody because of COVID. We had set up our goal originally at maybe $50,000-$60,000, but I am pleased to tell everybody that we have already surpassed $100,000. So I think maybe by next year our goal is going to be $1 million. So we're gonna fulfill that gap, over 5 years. That's, I think, when we first started, that's what we had thought about. I think we're gonna achieve our goal. Besides from raising money, raising capital and whatnot, when I first visited the school in about 2 years ago, I met Renuka. I went to the school. I was totally impressed and mesmerized by the execution, by the school, how the school was being run. Right from the classroom to the to how the meals were served. Over here, we go to temples, we go to places, people can't even sit properly. I watched all the girls from the top, they were coming in, getting food. So this was all a very, very positive experience for all of us. It has been a great journey for us. I will just say thank you. It has been that we are participating in it, on behalf of my my associates, Mr. Guerra and Mr. Amar Bhatia. We are delighted, and it has been great for us, and we'll continue to work towards it. So in the end, I will say thank you very much. Keep up the great work, and we are grateful to be part of this organization.
Thank you very much for those words, Mr. Gupta. It's an absolute pleasure to hear from you, and thank you very much again for speaking tonight. Rightio then, after that, I'm just going to move on to introduce Mr. Jose, as we all know and love. He has been, as people have mentioned, he has been a huge influence on the success of Padada Padadi, and he's been at the coalface pretty much from day one. So Jose, can you please introduce the next video?
Hi, thank you, Jason. This is Sharda. Sharda is one of our graduate and working in Bangalore. There are 116 graduate girls working in different cities in India. And Sharda, when she started earning money, she helped her mother to build their house also. Now, Jason, please run the video.
My journey started when I joined Padada Padadi.
Padadi from 8th standard and getting education there. Basically, when I was in Padadi, I had a lot of fun roaming with friends and meeting new people around and getting to know the people coming from outside. So that was the mostly fun, a sense of freedom and a sense of empowerment. So this is what I miss. I've learned from the PPs. I was not having a proper plan like what I have to do after 12th. So basically the Padadi has guided me to go to Bangalore and to achieve what I was supposed to. So I just went there and I did my computer diploma and that's how I achieved software engineering. My family, we 4 sisters and 1 brother, my father and my mother. So my 3 sisters are studying in Padadi and my brother is in 4th standard. And me, I'm doing job in Bangalore. So my father is farmer and mama is housewife. And when I look back to the girl I was when I joined the Padadi, so it has been a huge difference in myself. And the way I look at these things now, the things has been changed and the world has been changing around. So this all has been possible because of Padadi. So they have supported me a lot and they still support me. I have 3 sisters, they are still in Padadi. So I see a lot of support system from Padadi.
So that's Sharda, who is a PPS graduate.
Actually, Sharda is with us right now. If somebody have any question, you can ask her.
Suparna, we'll come to you.
Hi, Sharda. It's lovely to see you and lovely to see your family. I wanted to ask you what it felt like when you were able to build that house for your mother.
I'm still going on the construction, but I feel so proud. I think that's the right question if my mama answered this, because I think that's a very proud feeling, because at this age, building a house for my family is such a great, amazing feeling. So,
amazing. On to you. Really proud.
Can we see any other waving hands? Melanie, we'll come to you next. There we go.
Hi, thank you. Hi, Sharda. My question for you is, if you were to give one message for all of the other girls who are currently students at Padadi, what would you tell them? Some advice.
Just don't stop dreaming. There is no way to stop dreaming. You dream and you can achieve whatever you will dream. And Padadi will also make sure that you achieve whatever you have dreamed. So do not stop dreaming.
Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you, Melanie. Sharda, just thank you very much. We're going to sort of cut the Q&A a bit shorter on this one, just because I fully appreciate that time is getting away from us. But no, thank you very much for being with us tonight. It's very much appreciated. So what we're going to do now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to come to Suparna and Robert. Suparna is a member of the Board of Trustees for Padadi UK, and Robert Percival is a very much a long-standing supporter of Padadi. So I'll pass you on to them. Everybody, Robert and Suparna.
We got that, Robert.
Shall I take it away, Suparna?
Robert, yes.
I'll try and ignore that photograph on the screen in front of me.
What Jason said.
Well, I was asked to cast my mind back to how I became involved with Padadi and to say a few words about that, and I'll do that as quickly as possible. I was spending a lot of time in India as a trustee of a trust running a hospital in Bhopal for the gas victims from the gas tragedy. And I struck up a close friendship with a man called Sanjeev Garg, who may or may not be in the audience tonight. I haven't seen him for ages. If you're there, hi. He said he knew a fellow called Sam Singh, who had started this school for girls, and would I like to meet him? Well, I naturally said yes, and we met. And within about 10 minutes, no more, I'm bound to say I fell totally under the spell of this man. That trip, I didn't go to Anupshahar, but I was hooked and determined to do something at home. Back at home, I found myself meeting another of the conspiratorial crowd, a wonderful man, the late and much lamented Krish Mehra, who'd been a classmate of Sam's. And in many ways the perspiration for our early fundraising efforts in London, which Suparna is going to tell you all about. But of course, before we could get into that, it was really necessary to see what it was all about. So 1 January 2008, I think, my wife and I visited. It was extremely cold. We were billeted at Sam's magnificent house, magnificent in every way, except it had no heating. And we slept that night in every item of clothing we possessed, lived to tell the tale. That day and the day following, though, we were blessed to be introduced to the school and all that was going on there and all the people. And to my dying day, I will remember the image. I have the image firmly imprinted in my brain, upstairs over the dining area, looking over the balcony and seeing all those girls quietly, or for all I know, not quietly, eating down below. It was just the most inspiring sight. We had a fundraiser at the American Embassy in 2013. I think that was the first one that I was involved with. And I'll cut the story short. But suffice it to say, I was there playing cricket, believe it or not, in a thing called the Lawyers Cricket World Cup. Our game overran. We had to finish off Australia if we possibly could. We ended up getting back extraordinarily late from the ground, largely because the bus had to keep stopping to get more and more beers for the overheated players. When we finally got to the American Embassy, nobody batted a single eyelid. It was as if we were on time. And I learned then for the first time that not all Indian events start exactly on the time that they're scheduled to, without wishing any offense to anybody. Anyway, we had a great time, and a lot of people were introduced for the first time to what I refer to as. But back in the UK after that, I discovered that Krish Mehra, who I was doing wonderful things in Manchester, in the north. We felt we had to compete. I was introduced. Got together for the first time in 2013, and it was Mr. Mehra's coming down from the north of England on the slow train from Manchester on a regular basis. Out him a little bit with a glass of this and that and sent him back, but he was our inspiration and the start of it all. I'm going to hand over to Suparna to tell you a bit more about where we took it from there. I'd like just to wish everybody at the school, Sam, Renuka, the staff, and in particular the girls, a wonderful anniversary and many, many more to come.
Thank you, Robert.
Thanks, Robert. I'll try and be brief as well. My family have known Sam and Renuka for a very, very long time. And I remember Sam coming to our place and always saying, Bitya, come to the village. I'm going to take you to the village. And I finally took him up on that offer in 2013. And a little did I know, the girls just completely captured my heart. And it was a very impactful experience of my life. It was incredible to meet the girls, feel the pulse and spirit of the community, and obviously, and of course, Sam's generosity, his generous hospitality. I'm sure there was a bar that we used to meet at in the evenings, which might no longer be open. Renuka did not need to work too hard to convince me to join Robert and Mr. Mehra to start fundraising here in the UK. And I'm very proud to say that we've hosted 4 fundraisers or friends raisers since 2014, grown the chapter from the 3 of us to now include the extremely dedicated Emma Horn, Andrew Horn, and of course, Anima. Without whom we just, they're the core, the spine of our chapter, and as well, of course, as Dee Dee and Lizzie, and of course Fiona. I delivered a pitch to a crowdfunding event, and it received about £8,000. And Robert was upset with me because apparently I spoke too fast and I wasted 30 seconds of the 6 minutes that I had. So sorry, Robert. This year, we were actually on course to be the most successful international chapter with a very lucrative invitation to as a preferred charity for the Asian Achievers Awards. Sadly, COVID has delayed our ascent to the podium. But watch out, America and Canada, as a matter of fact. And lastly, I just want to, again, myself and my family, the Malhotra family, we want to say congratulations. And, I cannot wait to see what the next 20, 30, 50 years hold. Thank you very much.
Fantastic. No, thank you for that, Suparna, and fantastic. Thank you very much. So thank you very much to Robert and Suparna for just giving a bit of an overview of how they got involved with Padada Padadi and what's moving on next. So I'm going to introduce you to Arya, who, as Renuka has already mentioned, is the female, the head of department for iVillage and the only other female senior management position. So Arya, I'm going to pass it on to you.
Thank you, Jason. Hello, everybody. So iVillage is working towards generating employment opportunities for rural women in and around Anupshahar, UP. And we are making products that are ideal for corporate gifting and brand promotion. And we are always looking out for more connects or more clients, I should say. We currently have 120 women with us on full-time basis and are working hard to take this number to 500. So sharing story of a girl named Durgesh who joined iVillage 2 years ago as a stitching operator, and then she moved on to gain experience in our printing department. Seeing her dedication to work and her educational background, we started to train her on data entry, and now she works as an administrative assistant and generates reports on daily production. So through her salary, she supports her family and funds education for her younger sibling.
मेरा नाम दुर्गेश तोमर है। मैं iVillage में एडमिन असिस्टेंट के तौर पर काम करती हूँ। हम 3 बहन हैं और मेरी मम्मी है और मेरे भाई हैं एक और भाभी हैं, उनके 4 बच्चे हैं और मेरे भाई गाड़ी चलाते हैं। मैं यहाँ पे साइकिल से आती हूँ और 12 किलोमीटर रोज पड़ जाता है। मैं iVillage में बहुत कुछ सीख चुकी हूँ और सीख भी रही हूँ। नया मतलब जो भी आता है आइटम कुछ भी बनने के लिए मैं उसे सीखती हूँ और मुझे अच्छा लगता है सीखना भी। पहले ये नहीं आता था, लैपटॉप ज़्यादा चलाना थोड़ा आता था, अब मैं बहुत कुछ सीख चुकी हूँ यहाँ पे आके। मेरी डे टू डे रेस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ये है कि मैं अटेंडेंस मेंटेन करती हूँ, डेटा अपलोड करती हूँ और एक्सेल पर ऑपरेट में अपडेट करती हूँ, उसे सफाई चेक करती हूँ और मैं सर के साथ फ्लोर पर सुपरविजन में उनकी मदद करती हूँ और स्टोर की देखभाल करती हूँ और मुझे अच्छा लगता है कि मैं अपने पैरों पे खड़ी हूँ।
Arya, just due to the timings of it, we're not going to jump into the Q&A, but thank you very much for doing all you do and introducing iVillage. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to come on to the sister organisation over in the US, another sort of across the pond family members, and we all recognise and know Renu. So, Renu, I'll pass it on to you.
Thanks, Jason. We're so excited to be here. It is Thanksgiving week here in the US. And we are so proud to be hosting some of our PPES graduates. This is Sakshi. Sakshi, say hi.
Hello, everyone.
Pinky, say. So these 2 girls are PPES graduates, and they are studying here at New Jersey City University. New Jersey City University is paying their full room, board, tuition, everything. They take care of them. They take wonderful care of these girls. Wonderful. I can't even explain how wonderful it is. So, and the woman that is responsible for bringing them here and hosting them is Miss Sue Henderson. She's the president of the university, and I'm going to invite her now. She's right here with me. She's going to speak on behalf of the U.S. chapter. Thank you. Miss Henderson.
Thank you so much. It is a real distinct honor and a privilege to be here today. I had the opportunity probably 8 or 10 years ago to meet a colleague, Ricky Asher, when I was working in New York City. And she introduced me to Sam and Pardati. And I was so incredibly impressed with the vision that he had to build something in India that was going to help change so many things. So I had the opportunity to visit probably 8 years ago, and I've been back multiple times and brought colleagues, other people who might be willing to work with PPES. And every time I come back, I am amazed, absolutely amazed how much growth there is, how much attention to the community, how much attention to all the well-being of all the people, including the girls. And about 4 or 5 years ago, after I'd become president of New Jersey City University, we recognized that it was really going to be important for us to think about reaching internationally because about 60% of our students are immigrants themselves. And so they come from other countries. And I invited a woman who is an absolute rock star on my team, Tamara Cunningham, who's on this today, to help us think about how we might work with Pardati and bring some of the graduates there. Sam had indicated at the time that some of the girls were interested after they graduated in pursuing higher education. And at the time, I think there were some girls who were in a school up in the state of Washington. So we investigated this and began to look for some funding. And just most recently, I've been able to secure some funding from a donor who is willing to support girls like the 2 women that we have here who are leaders on our campus to help them study because he knows that their work will forever change their lives, and not only that, the lives of their families and their village. So I'm just very grateful to all of you for the good work that you do to help make this possible. And I am particularly impressed with the vision of Sam because he is a patient and persistent person who ensures that good things are happening. And I want to congratulate him for all the good work he's done. And I'm looking for 20 more good years. And thank you again. And congratulations to the girls. You're welcome.
Thank you very much, Dr. Henderson. Saskia, Pinky, do you want to say anything to everyone, or just very quickly?
Yeah, we just want to say thank you all of your help, and thank you so much for helping us, and please keep doing this. Without all of you, without all of your help, Pardati does not exist anything. Just support us and keep helping us. Thank you so much. We are so grateful.
Yeah, we are
Thank
so
you.
grateful that we got that opportunity. So yeah, thank you so much. That could happen because of you. So I'm very grateful to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, girls, and I hope you enjoy your Thanksgiving.
Yeah, we are enjoying.
Okay, now we're going to, I'm going to reintroduce Mr. Joes because one of our colleagues, Cameron, has had to shoot off. So, Joes, I'll leave it up to you, my friend.
Hi, Jason. Thank you once again. We have a division called Community Development Division. There we have self-help groups. This lady, her name is Rumali. She's from a village called Chapera. Her husband was a TB patient and they were not earning anything for living. And for her husband's treatment, there was nothing. So the villagers helped her to treat her husband, and now she joined in our self-help group and took a loan of 10,000 rupees and started a shop in their village. So now she's running her home and taking care of her children also. Now please show the video.
Perfect. Thank you, Joes.
मेरा नाम रुमाली है।
So that was Rumali, and she's had the benefit of the community development and the self-help group. So I'm going to pass you back on to Renuka.
Yes, Jason, thank you. I am doing it for the specific reason because Jason was finding it difficult to pronounce the family name Tyagarajan. So no other reason, he's not been very kind to me otherwise. It gives me an immense pleasure to introduce Tiger, Vijay and Abhinav Tyagarajan. They have been with us in this journey for a very long time and very strong supporters. And I just want to quote one thing of Vijay here. She said, earlier I used to give $1 to anybody who was standing and asking for it. Now I save that every dollar so that all the money I want to give it to Padada Padadi. So that is the dedication of this family, not only in terms of being a donor, but also in terms of being guide and mentors. So they not only in the personal capacity, but also Tiger in his company's capacity. So Abhi, are you there? Abhinav, are you there? So over to Abhinav. He will do the first part of the discussion and then over to his parents' video.
Great. Well, thank you so much, and thank you, Renuka. Unfortunately, my parents couldn't attend the event, so they sent over a video. But just wanted to very quickly just mention that I visited Anup Share about 3 years ago and was just so inspired by kind of the students, by everyone there, obviously by Renuka and by Sam, and I think the work that's being done is incredible. There's an old proverb that is thrown around a lot, and in fact has a lot of resonance and has a lot of meaning, especially when you actually dwell on the meaning of it, which is that when you educate a man, you educate an individual, but when you educate a woman, you educate a nation. And that is something that's been true for centuries and still is true today, that this is an issue that is of the utmost importance and of something that we need to ensure we're always staying focused on. And it's incredibly inspiring, therefore, that Pardada Pardadi is an organization that has done kind of deep work in this space for 20 years, and I'm sure it's going to continue for another 20, 40, 80 years. So, again, thank you so much, and incredibly inspiring, not just today, but also when I visited 3 years ago, and looking forward to being in Anup Share soon enough. Thank you.
Right, I'll just play the video from your parents.
Hi, Pardada Pardadi. Congratulations on your milestone. This is a milestone anniversary. We are so proud to be associated with you guys. We've been with you on your journey for a long time, many years now, and it's been wonderful to see the way you've grown. Both of us really believe in education, particularly girl education, and my sincere request to all you girls is, do not give up, complete your studies, work hard, and you can achieve any dream anything that you aspire to be. And to all your mothers, आप प्लीज़ आपकी लड़कियों को पढ़ाइए, बिल्कुल वो चूकने मत दीजिए. फिर आपकी बेटी जो बनाना चाहती है बन सकती है, उनको प्लीज़ शादी के लिए मजबूर मत कीजिए, उनको पढ़ाने दीजिए. Renuka, as always, doing a wonderful job. So happy and so proud to be your friend and very well-wisher for you and your organization. You want to add anything?
Yeah, I just wanted to say what you're doing needs to be replicated by so many other people. So you're setting an example for so many people to follow. All of you who are part of the process, as you come out, dream big. Anything that you dream, you will get, and then you will change society. That's why we are involved. That's why my company is involved. So continue to do the great work you're doing. And Renuka, it's so good to be associated with you, your organization, and your people. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. Have fun the rest of the day.
We're going to come on to now a message from Lakinda Singh, the president of the PPS Legal Board. So Lakinda, are you there?
Yeah, thanks, Jason. Hello, everyone. So first of all, thank you very much for joining this 20 years anniversary event to all of you and supporting PPES from last 20 years. So Renuka has given me a challenging task, talk about future, how we are going to do and how much we are ready for future. So there is a question which is coming again and again, that how we are going to take PPES in future. So answer is very, very clear and crystal clear and straight that yes, we are ready for future. There is a need, and we have worked in last 20 years in many different ways to get this organization for another 20 years, 50 years, or to perpetuity. And as you all know that the vision of Sam, which he has taken, and now it has become a vision of many, many people, it is not going to complete in a generation or in one generation. So it is going to take a generations, and 20 years is just a first step to towards our vision. So overall, if we see, we have worked in different, we have worked on all levels. Jason, can you go on a one back slide?
Yep.
Slide number 17. Yeah. So we have worked towards our sustainability at board level, at management level, and at operational team level, where we have worked intensively to work on processes, systems, and policies, and to create a right balance between the quality and quantity. So we have many times there was a challenge, and we debate, like Sam has mentioned, that Sam and Renuka has always a debate that whether to add the number or go with the quality. So it is very, very difficult sometimes to create a right balance. And when we see the need in India, it is a huge need. And it is very, very difficult to fulfill by one generation or by one PPES. So we are trying to create a philosophy here and trying to work with our each and every department to create a succession plan so that the continuity will go. So here, what we want to say here is that the vision is to that all rural women can contribute in India's GDP and grow the country overall. This can happen only when each and every woman and the girl child is educated and working towards the goal of growth. For this, I just wanted to share one story, because Renuka told me that your presentation is going to be very, very straight and specific. So I'll just share one story of Sam. It was like almost 12 years back when my son was 1 year old, and we invited him for for his birthday party. And in that, we have created one poster. And in that poster, we requested everybody to put some comments there. So I'll just read an exact wording, what he has put there, so you can understand how Sam was committed towards this to take it to the next generation. He wrote there, I'm just reading the exact words. With lot of love, may God give you a courage and wisdom to take over Pardada Pardadi. It was like 12 years back, and for a birthday of a 1 year old boy. So that's the commitment from each one of you, from our side. So I am sure that the way you all have supported us in the last 20 years, you are going to continue this support in many years to come. And without your support, it is not possible to take it forward. So looking forward to all your support, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Lakinda, for that. And what we're going to do now, I'm going to pass you on to Geeta Atreya, who is there. She is one of the board members of the India team, and she just wants to say a few words. So Geeta, over to you.
Hi, everybody. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, or from all over the world. I'm Geeta Atreya. I'm so privileged to be given this opportunity to speak to all of you on behalf of the board. You have already seen Lukinder, who is the president of the board. And then there is Dean, that's Dean. And then there is Santosh Sethi, Usha Bajpai, Poonam Kapila, and myself. We are the members of what they call the legal board of Pardada Pardadi. So I just wanted to sort of sum up, and I know that this is the fag end of the whole program. Why is PPS so special? Beena Rani raised that question. Why is it so special? There are many projects in schools in India, but this one is different. Why? It's in one of the most backward areas of India. It is so backward. It's hardly a couple of hours from New Delhi, but it's so backward. It's highly patriarchal. You've already heard about it. It's got extremely low literacy and education rates. It's violent because I don't know how many of you know that when Sam was just setting up the school, he was actually shot at. People tried to kill him. It was so fortunate that he survived that. Otherwise, I don't know whether we'd be surprised, whether we'll be celebrating 20 years. So that's why PPS is so special. And the fact that it really looked at the girls, and it's the girls. Why is PPS so revolutionary? It's a girls-only school in an area of extreme poverty. The need to incentivize parents to allow their daughters to attend school, and the incentives for the students to attend regularly. You've already heard all about this, but I'm just sort of summarizing it for you. What are the challenges faced? You've seen it. Parents are not ready to send their daughters to school. It is completely private, so we have to be raising funds all the time. They don't get charged anything. So the constant need for funds to be raised, because we have to be realistic. We need the money. And it's an extremely difficult area to find qualified teachers and educators. This is not, the government schools in that area, the teachers live in Delhi and Noida and commute there every day. So you can imagine that you don't really have qualified teachers ready to stay on in the school and to be associated with the school. So in that sense, KK and the teachers of the school, we are very, very grateful to you. What is the progress that has been made? 14 students to 1,700 and growing. Every day brings new innovations, sports, yoga, dance, music, you name it. We are trying it all the time. The reach of industries that our graduates are working in, you've heard that there are 113 of our girls working in different parts of the country. And we're looking forward to the first doctors to emerge from our girls. Gratitude. This is what I was actually supposed to do, to give a Thanksgiving. So there is, being from India, I have to put a little bit of Bollywood here. There's a very famous song which says, "Bahut shukriya, badi meherbani, PPS ki zindagi mein aap sab aaye." What it translates to is that we are extremely grateful that you all have come into the life of PPS. First and foremost, the parents and families of the girls. We thank the donors, well-wishers, supporters, communicators, teachers, visitors, volunteers, doctors, nurses, development workers, staff, contractors, construction workers, plumbers, electricians, gardeners. You can imagine the list is endless. I'm immensely grateful to everyone who has touched PPS in the smallest way. Then the family of Sam. I include Renuka in it, even though she's not his biological daughter, but Sam has babysat Pragya from the time she was a year old. Renu, Ina, Indu, Atulbai, Lokinder, and Arya, and many, many more. Our hearts are filled with gratitude. So next slide, the last one. Lokinder has already spoken about the future of PPS. So I'm extremely grateful. And as Lokinder said, 20 years more, 40 years more, many years more.
So Geeta, thank you very much for those words and talking about the history and the gratitude. So ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of the presentation. Can I just ask if I can be so bold as if you have a glass, a coffee, a water, a beer, a wine, anything in a drinking receptacle, just to raise your glasses to say happy 20 years to Pardada Pardadi and to many, many more years to come. And thank you so much from my point of view for welcoming me into the family in such a wonderful way. And I wouldn't have it any other. So here's to Padade Padade to the next 20 years.
For the next 20 years.